Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to G-Bear's Off-Grid Ways, a homestead in the desert. Got my flag up there at half staff for General Powell, and I raise it back to full staff after sunset today. That's just a little courtesy. I do lower it for people like that who are served our country. I don't normally do the half staff thing when it's a tribute to some singer or whatever like that. Just ridiculous. That's not what the flag at half staff is all about. Anyway, without getting any further into that, okay, so the temps today. The temps are in the 70s. It's pretty nice, but the winds are blowing. The winds came up about noontime. They're gusting to 24 miles per hour, average anywhere from 12 to 17 with those upward gusts. And then, of course, the PMA up there is making electricity, so no big deal. But it's supposed to get chillier. And on Monday, we've got an 80% chance of rain. 80%. That might actually bring something. Let's hope it does. I could use some extra water. And don't forget, this is the season to plant your garlic. So if you're going to get your garlic in the ground, you want to do it now. Ideal on garlic is don't plant it with any other plants. It doesn't like to share its bed with other plants. Plant your bulbs or your cloves from the bulbs. Don't plant a whole bulb all by itself. Break apart the cloves. Plant them the root side down, about 3 inches deep and about 6 inches apart from each other in all directions. And in their own soil. They like a sandy, silty soil, not too much hydrogen. Don't overdo it. As a matter of fact, compost works really good for them. They like compost, so if you can grow them in compost, you'll be doing fine. Now remember, you're going to be planting those now before the winter, and they're going to winter over the winter, and they'll come up and they'll sprout themselves in the springtime when it's time. You'll see them come right up out of the ground. And if you see any flowers growing out of them, cut the flowers off. Cut them down to the same length as the leaves that are on it. But don't let the flowers go to seed or open up or anything like that. You'll ruin your garlic cloves. So just wanted to get that in there. And I'll be planting that. I'll probably do a video on planting it. I've got to pick up a couple of bags of compost. But I'll be going into town anyway because I need to refill my big 100-pound tank. I've still got 1.5 tank, or 1 1/3 tanks with propane in them. So I'm on the third of a tank, and I just fired off my heater for the first time this year. I got the pilot running, but I've got the thermostat set down to number 1.5. So the heater doesn't actually kick on, but the pilot will stay on. And then when I get up in the mornings, if it's real chilly out, because I've seen some 33-degree Fahrenheit days, or mornings actually. If it's that cold in the morning, I'll fire up the heater because it'll be 60, 62 degrees inside the cabin. And while that's not uncomfortable, it's not really comfortable. So I like it up around 70 degrees, but I'll set it at 78. And when it peaks at 78, shut it off. And that's enough to hold heat in the cabin all the way through until the sun warms it up outside to good 70 degrees or whatever. And then when I step out of the cabin, I don't even need a jacket because they equalize temperatures. All right. So I had to take a run down to my friend Bill's house. He was competing with me on the slip and slide of the wood floors, the engineered wood floors. But he wins. He he slipped on some papers, stepped on some papers on the floor, and that threw his feet out from underneath him. And when he went down, he broke his left wrist, and he's got that all repaired now. They took him into the hospital and got that fixed. So it was just one of those freak accidents. It wasn't anything to do with his weakness or anything like that. It was just a freak accident. So I hope he gets heals fast and heals better. They said he was in good spirits and he's doing just fine. Doctor said, you know, he's okay. All his vitals are good. So just get well soon, Bill. And I'll come down and visit you when I can. Anyway, let's see. Oh yeah, so I was just watching Arizona Off-Grid Unplugged. And he was talking about firing off his heaters too, and he bought another little heater. This is what I use right here, is these big 100-pound tanks, and I need to fill one or two more of these smaller tanks because I use those on a backup heater just in case there's an emergency and my main heater goes out. So we'll go in here and we'll talk heaters for a minute. And there's my garlic cloves getting ready to be separated and planted. All right, so what I use for a heater in the cabin here is this Propane. This is 30,000 BTU. And this is a thermostat on top. And this is the igniter. So I just set it on pilot, press down on the button, snap this button, pilot light's down in there, and this is putting off heat just with the pilot light. It'll keep the cabin up to temperature. Right now, winds are down to 16 out of the west-southwest, and there's inside here is 82 degrees with only 5% humidity. Outside, 76 degrees with 16% humidity and holding. Okay, now here's where it's saying right on my unit, future forecast is saying that we're looking for some rain, and the barometric pressure is down to 29.86. So that's a dropping. It's going into a low pressure stage, and that should indicate some rain coming. Anyway, it's October 22nd at 4:15 p.m. and I wanted to show you that. All right, so this is what I use for a backup heater. Okay, now this is like 30,000 BTU also. And this mounts on top of a 20-pound propane tank. And it will heat up very quickly. And it'll warm this whole cabin from near freezing up to 75 or 80 degrees in no time at all. But I only use that as a total backup. Now, I did take one of my small tanks in and had it filled, but all of a sudden the tank is leaking out of the valve stem. So I'm going to retire that tank, and I'll try to fill some 1-pound bottles off of it before it actually leaks all out. That's it right there, and I wrote on the side of it, bad valve. So that one will turn into a little waste oil burner that I'll be able to keep in my greenhouse. And if we're going to have a extended period of cold weather, I can light that thing off the night before and let it run overnight inside the greenhouse to keep the plants warm. All right, so let's see, what else did I want to cover? Okay, for those of you interested in that wall heater unit, 30,000 BTUs, it really is a fantastic unit. I had another brand before that, Propane, and it worked 1 year, and then it would not stay lit anymore. Couldn't get it the pilot light to stay lit. And normally that's a thermal coupler, but if it's going to do that, it's really not worth the time and effort to repair the thing. So I just got online. I found the Propane MG30TBF it was around $200. They may be a little more expensive now because of inflation, but I think I paid like $204 or something like that for it with a free delivery. And like I said, 30,000 BTUs with a thermostat. That's the nice thing. I usually set it at number 2.5, and that'll keep the cabin just about 74 degrees. So on those really super cold nights when it's freezing outside, below the freeze mark, inside the cabin, I'm at 70 something degrees and just comfortable as can be. And I don't have to get up and put on the wool pajamas before I go to the bathroom. All right, so that's all I have for today. Thank you for stopping by. Stop over and see Arizona Off-Grid Unplugged and see what he's doing with his heaters. He just bought a little 1-pound bottle heater that's like almost like the Mister heater, but it's got a thermostat on it, and he does explain that and how it works and all of that. Now, I didn't get a chance to go into my container, but I have a cable in there or a hose in there, which is an adapter that for those 1-pound tank units, you can put this hose into it and then put the other end of the hose into a 20-pound tank of propane and last a heck of a lot longer than a little 1-pound tank. All right, everybody. That's all I have for today. Thanks for joining me. Don't forget thumbs up down there. Don't forget to subscribe and share. This is G Bear, thanking you for being here and signing off.